Welcome to the Small Scape and welcome to Neonville. Today I am ranking six different neons from number 6 all the way to number 1. And if you're familiar with the channel, you're probably going to have a hunch which one I'm going to rank as number 1. But why? Why specifically will I rank these? We'll get into that in a minute. But why neons? Why are you considering neons? Or why should somebody consider neons is, well, they're a great choice if you want a school of fish. If you want a school of colorful fish, if you want them to be peaceful, if you also want them to be small, they're going to stay under 2 inches. And it's a perfect size if you want to get a little school of neons. Have a 20-gallon. 20-gallon is a perfect size tank. This one behind me is a 22 long. Works out great for my school of green neons. And if you are looking for a species profile for any of these, head on over to Primetime Aquatics. I think he's done literally all of them. And then other things to keep in mind is you want a group of at least 6. More can be better because they are very comfortable in groups, but at least 6 you are going to want in your little school. And speaking of schools, they don't technically school. They do more of what's called the shoaling, so it's not very a tight schooling behavior that they have, but they do shoal very, very nicely. If you want to check out any of these fish specifically to have of your very own, head on over to Flip Aquatics. They are a channel sponsor. We love them over there, and they'll definitely give nice little descriptions if you want to just check them out over there or acquire some of your very own. Oh, and one thing that I do want to mention is we are including cardinals in here, even though they are not technically a neon, but they look so similar to the standard that we just, I'm just going to include them in here. All right, for each of these, we're going to go over the good and the bad. Number 6 on the list is the gold neon tetra. Now, this is probably not your most common go-to neon, and maybe for obvious reasons, because I would say it's lacking the color of the others. I would actually like to keep them at some point. I specifically have not in any of my tanks, but they are generally a gold color. They have a little iridescent blue that you can kind of see, but there is some hardiness issues with these, so if you are looking at lifespans, this may not be the best. Also, some local fish stores will kind of price these a little bit on the higher end, so just keep that in mind. I don't know if, have you ever kept these? Do you have any thoughts on them? Do you still want to keep them? I'm curious if anybody is like a huge fan of these. Now, number 5, I should have given the disclaimer right up front that I pretty much would guarantee nobody's going to agree with me on this list, but that's okay. You can have your own list. Number 5, I am ranking the standard. Most people would rank this up very highly for neons. They have beautiful color. They have both the red and the blue. You could almost consider it a white, so a red, white, and blue. Love that for baseball teams and really any team, so you would think this would be my favorite, but and most people are, but the good things about them are obviously the color. Beautiful, beautiful color that you're going to see from across the room. They're also really easy to find. They're a very common fish, so it's not something that you're going to have to be hunting all around town for, and that also makes them very inexpensive. They're easy to come upon, and they're very inexpensive for you to add a nice school of fish to your tank. The bad would be neon tetra disease. They're very susceptible to that, so if you're looking to make sure that your fish stay healthy and active a very long time, this may not, you may just want to keep that in mind. And the fact that I would pretty much say that they're the least hardy, at least in our experience, the least hardy fish on the neon list. But obviously, beautiful color on one single fish. You're just going to get multiple colors, and it's a beautiful fish. Number 4 on the list is, for me, the cardinal. And I know that most people would completely disagree with me on this one. They are, I totally agree, a beautiful fish. But there are a lot of different reasons why you're going to pick one particular neon over another. And, well, let's just go over the good reasons for why would you really want a cardinal. Obviously, it is the most vibrant color. Very high amount of red, and the blue, it almost forms like a purple when you're looking at it real fast. I mean, they're very vibrantly colored, so very they'll contrast very nicely with your plants. They're going to stand out a whole lot. And when they're moving around in a school like this one at in Branson, this aquarium, the Bass Pro Shops aquarium, beautiful, stunning color that it's really hard to beat. And they are becoming, I would say, hardier. So they have gotten a little bit better, I think, in years past. And then they are one of the largest neons on this list, along with another one coming up in a little while. But some bad things that you may want to keep in mind. The cost may be the highest on the list for obvious reasons, because they are so beautiful and colorful. I mean, it's just you're really getting a lot of fish for the money, though. Keep that in mind. And a lot of people, if they see these in your tank, are just going to be like awestruck, especially if they haven't seen them before. And another thing you may want to keep in mind is some strains may kind of be on the weaker side. So keep that in mind if you're looking for fish to stick around in your tank for a long time. All right, as we get into the top 3, number 3 on my list is the Black Neon Tetra. I really love this tank. It was a really fun tank to have, and black neons were my choice in here. A lot of people may rank this fish towards the bottom of the list because of their, pretty much kind of like their lack of color. However, if you do look at them, they do have a little shimmer of blue, like a dark blue on that black body. Reasons why you may want them are because they're very hardy. I find them the most hardy neon. We've had really good luck. They've lived really long lives, and they do tolerate also a wide range of water parameters, which is really good because that just ensures your success right off the bat. You don't have to do as much research and kind of dial in the exact water parameters like a lot of fish. They're going to tolerate a whole lot of water parameters. So I really do think that they look cool, even for a neon. But some of the bad points, you can consider them very muted. The muted color throughout the body, there is no striking color. So if you have a black background like we do in this tank, they could kind of get a little bit washed out. You could have to kind of look around for them. You may like that. You may like a more muted color, or you want a slightly larger fish. Maybe you have some larger fish in there that you're really concerned about that are going to eat some of your neons. If you get a school of the black neons, they are going to be on the little larger side, and you won't have to worry about it as much. All right, number 2 on the list is the Diamond Head Neon Tetra. I love this, and this fish, when we first got them in, I was not very familiar with them, and a lot of other people may not as well. So if you get these fish in your tank, people may not be familiar with them, so they have a little bit of a wow factor for me, especially if you look at them in the sunlight. Super beautiful. So I think that they look extremely cool. I think they look second coolest on the neon list. And I mean, especially if you see them from far away, like away from them in like on the other side of the room, those eyes are just going to be like, it's like they have glowing eyes. Frequently I refer to them as the diamond eye because I just forget. But beautiful, beautiful fish. And you do have some red on there. So it's kind of a win-win. I think they're actually cooler than the standards, but that's just me. They're also proving to be very hardy for us, which is a super plus. And they also tolerate a wide range of water parameters, which is super fun. So a lot of different people can keep them. A couple of points to keep in mind, though, is, the color is a little bit on the more muted side. So they're not going to really pop in your tank as much as like a standard or a Cardinal would. And then also the cost can sometimes creep up on the higher end. But it's a beautiful fish, a beautiful option. If you're maybe wanting to try a different neon, give them a shot. We've had really good luck with them. They're really nice and hardy and beautiful and slightly different. Well, I guess we should just get to number 1. And yes, I have the green neon as my number 1 neon tetra fish. I will defend this because you may look at them and say, well, they only have one color. I disagree. I think they have 3 colors depending on when you look at them. So they're moving around the tank. You're going to see flashes of green, turquoise, and also purple. So I think this fish has multiple colors. They're just so beautiful. They're so much fun to watch. In my 2 different tanks, they've had actually slightly different behaviors. So in this tank, the 20-gallon that I had, and beautiful combo, keep them with magenta mystery snails, which you can see one creeping along the back. Beautiful color combo there. Keep that in mind. But they're really just, I find them extremely beautiful. It does happen to be one of my favorite colors, that turquoise color. But they're also very hardy. I would say they're second hardiest to the black neon. So you're going to get a long lifespan with these. And price is also going to be your friend. You can find these really reasonably priced. You can get a nice school, and you won't be sorry. All the people that I've really requested, pushed, whatever you want to say, to encourage to get these have not been sorry, as far as I'm concerned. One bad thing to keep in mind is if you're looking at this one versus the other ones, yes, you can consider the color to be more muted. There is a little bit of red on the fish, but you're not going to get as much as on the Cardinals or the standards, obviously. And then also even on the Diamond Head, you're not going to get as much of a red color on there. But I'm willing to give that up with the other colors that you get, like purple. So that is my list. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope maybe this clears up some reasons of why, in fact, the green neon is my favorite. Now, if you do want to see my latest setup, my newest 22 long setup, click on the top right video. And if you want to see some great schooling fish options, then click on the lower right. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.